What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to this episode of G4 Outdoors. Today we are going to be doing our first oil change on the Mercury 150 horse 4-stroke outboard motor.
All that stress that's in my body's always driving me insane. When I'm reeling in that buzzbait, it just seems to go away. Now you see, fishing ain't a habit, it's a passion in my soul. When I'm casting and I'm smashing all these bass that are on my pole. Now for a minute or an hour, if I'm fishing then I'm fine. I just only need a second when I'm wetting up a line. So if the weather's super crappy or you might be stuck inside, search G4 Outdoors YouTube online. But as I look up and I ask, can I please just catch a break? I got my rod and my reel and I'm headed to the lake.
Okay, so I am a little bit dirty and greasy. We just finished changing the lower gear lube in this. So if you want to see how to do that, please go back and check out that video before this if you want to. Otherwise, stick around. We're going to be changing the oil on this. What I did is I went out and got a just a kit to change the oil on this. It comes with 6 quarts of oil. It says that this is supposed to hold 6.3, but the tech out there says that Mercury says that you'll never put 6.3 back into it because there is a little bit of oil left in here. So 6 quarts is all that comes in the kit. It also comes with your oil filter made by Mercury. And I went ahead and did everything by Mercury. I could go with other brands, but this is a brand new motor under warranty. So I kind of want to stick with Mercury stuff. Changing the engine oil and the lower end unit grease lubricant, it's $100, guys. We're looking at a lot of money, and this is going to be a yearly maintenance item. You want to do this within the first 20 hours, over the first 10 hours, so somewhere in that period, and on a yearly basis or 100 hours, whichever comes first. So what you will need is a 5/8 inch wrench, and that will be to loosen up the drain tube right here. And other than that, everything comes in the kit. So let's get started on this and I'll show you exactly how to do it. Okay, to start out, you will want to raise your motor up. And you do want to keep this raised up for several minutes. I have been working on the lower unit, but what this does is it makes all of the oil drain to one side. That way when you go to drain it, we will be lowering this down all the way. And that will cause all of the oil to be down. This doesn't have an oil pan, but I'll say it's an oil pan just to make things easy so that we can all understand it. So now that all the oil has fell forward and down, it is all sitting in the oil pan and ready to be drained. Okay, now that the motor is down and all the oil is ready to come out, be sure and have your oil pan ready. We are going to install this tube onto this nipple right here. Now the one they sent me here is a little bit small, so I'm gonna have to stretch it on there real quick. Not too bad, not too bad. Okay, so I'm sure that you've watched other videos. They say, and they make it very apparent, do not loosen this more than 2.5 turns. In the literature that comes in the kit, it says do not turn 2.5 turns. I don't know the mechanics behind that, but we're not going to do that. So what I'm going to do is take my 5/8 inch wrench. I'm going to crack this open. And I'm not going to be too concerned about how fast this comes out. I just want it to come out. Okay, so now that we have the oil coming out of the top, this is something that I like to do on a lot of oil changes. You will want to get a rag ready. Go ahead and put your finger down in the oil. Just give it a little rub. Make sure you don't feel any metal shavings. And we do feel pretty good on this one. If you feel metal shavings in there, you want to take this into the Mercury Care Center, wherever you take your boat to. You want to take it into the medical center as soon as possible. Let them know that there are metal shavings in there so that they know that this motor is not being broken properly. Something's going wrong right away. So I always check my oil and gear lubes for any kind of grit. All right, now let's get the cowling off of here.
Why does it look so new?
Okay, so now that the oil has stopped draining out, there is a little bit coming out, but nothing too excessive. It's actually starting to drip, so it is plenty empty enough for me. So I am going to tighten this back up. Now you can keep your wrench on the floor or keep it up on the back step, that's up to you. Okay, so now that that's finished draining, there is a yellow cap right here. We're going to take the yellow cap off, and we're going to put our drain tube on that. Okay, so like I say, the hose that they give in this is a little bit undersized, but it does make for a tight fit. So just go ahead, insert your hose onto this nipple right here after you take your cap off. The purpose that that's going to serve is when you take this oil filter off, oil will be coming out of the oil filter into this cup right here, and then coming out of this drain tube. And then any excess, once you take this tube off, you can simply wipe that out with any of your towels that you have with you and clean up all of your mess. So next we're going to be taking the oil filter off. Okay, so the oil filter is pretty tight on here, so I do have a quick strap on here to get the oil filter off. Oh, she's snug.
She's turning. I mean, you're shaking like crazy, but she's turning.
Well, I'm denting the oil filter too.
Oh, I thought it was COVID.
So now that we have it loose, we're going to go ahead and remove it. Now, like I say, oil will come out from behind here into this holding little tray right here and come out the tube. So don't worry about any of the oil that comes out of here. As a matter of fact, I was expecting a lot more oil than that. That's nothing to worry about. All right, now we're going to take our oil filter. This is important. I want you guys to pay attention to this. There needs to be metal right here. Make sure that this rubber gasket right here comes off with the oil filter. So if this rubber gasket right here is stuck to the engine, be sure and take it off. That will cause a leak in your motor. You'll wind up blowing her up. So now that we have the new one, we have the rubber gasket right here, and that will be seated against the metal block. What you're going to want to do, dip your finger into an oil container, lubricate that oil seal, and then install your new oil filter. When installing this, make sure that it spins on freely, that you have the proper oil filter. You do not want to cross thread these threads. And when you're putting that on, make sure it snugs up, and then we're just going to give it an 1/8 to 1/4 of a turn. Do not over tighten this, because in the long run, when you go to take this back off after 100 hours or 1 year, this puppy's going to be stuck on here and you're going to have a hard time taking it off. So do not over tighten this. All right, now you're going to want to take your drain tube off, clean that nipple up a little bit, put the cap back on there. Now it's time to add oil. Right here, this yellow rod right here, and pull that out. This is where we're going to be checking our oil after we fill it up. Your oil fill is actually going to be on top of the motor, so we'll come around the other side. I'll try and get some good footage, but let's go fill the engine up with 6 quarts of oil. I didn't even read that cap. I hope this is oil.
It's like checking your blinker fluid, you know?
Heard that.
And as you guys can see, Randy is using his right hand, so this is right hand oil going in here right now.
Okay, we have our 6 quarts in there. Clean your engine up a little bit if you made a mess. Be sure and put your oil cap back on. Tight, make sure it's on there. And we're good to go. Okay, so you're going to double check your dipstick. Be sure and clean this off so that there is no oil on here. Put it back into the engine block and check it. Now what we're going to want to do is be anywhere within this hashtag area right here. You can see we're 3/4 of the way up. That is where the instructions recommend this be. So we are definitely in the good zone. That's a term, good zone. And reinstall your dipstick. Okay, so that was my first time changing this oil. I did not need any instructions. Everything is pretty much self-explanatory, all except for the 2.5 turns on the drain portion right here. Other than the 2.5 turns, this is very straightforward. 6 quarts of oil. The oil drain or the oil change kit comes with the 6 quarts, the oil filter, and the drain tube. So this is a very easy process, guys. I hope that I brought you along some good information. I hope this teaches you how to change the oil on your new motor. This is my first oil change, so in keeping with that, the first oil change on the 150 horse Mercury 4-stroke needs to be done anywhere between the 10 and 20 hour period of your break-in. Then thereafter, it needs to be done every 100 hours or yearly. So this is something that you're going to do every year with the engine oil and your gear oil. So that is how we change the oil on the Mercury 150 horse 4-stroke. All motors should be pretty much the same. So I hope this video helped you out, guys. If it did, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. I will see you in the next one. I'm out.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I just dream of fishing while I'm going through my workday. I listen to my boss, though he's driving me berserk. Damn it, I can't take much more because my brain is really hurting. And now the bank is always calling and I don't know what to do. And I haven't bought a crankbait since like 1992. But the bass are out there schooling.